we're back. If you're just tuning in, this is Third Coast Radio. I'm your host, Kamikaze the Kingmaker. I'm in the building with Dreon Santana, in here with Kayla Renee. The House of Mars cannot be with us this evening, but we're going to keep it rolling anyway. All right. And as promised at the top of the show, of course, just saw her live
Sure did.
at Fun Guitars at the Kickback. And now we got her live in the studio. We're going to talk about the performance. We're going to talk about the music. We're going to talk about Outspoken a little bit. We're going to talk about a lot of different things that she has going on. But ladies and gentlemen, in the studio now with the cool kids and yours truly, Maleah Dawn. Make some noise here.
Woo-woo.
Woo! In the house. So, I'll get to my questions in a second. But, you know, of course, for everybody out there that, you know, might not be familiar with you or know who you are, introduce yourself to them. Tell them where you're from. Tell them your claim to fame real quick.
Okay, I am Maleah Dawn. I am a singer, songwriter, creator. I am from Byron, Mississippi, currently at Jackson State. I've been creating music at least 10 years and started releasing it in 2019 and doing open mics 2017-ish. And this past year, just had a lot more traction. My first year at Jackson State, and everything's been going well so far.
This is your first year at Jackson State?
On campus.
Okay.
Clarify, on campus.
Okay.
All right.
Different experience on campus.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, on campus.
It is a different experience. So you just started kind of doing music seriously since 2019. So, you know, what really kind of inspired you to say, okay, I'm going to take it serious and now I'm going to begin the process of putting music together and actually putting it out and letting the world hear it?
Okay, well, I want to say it started in 2017. That was a turning year for me as far as wanting to do something and take it more serious as far as music and what I want to do as far as my career. And that year it made me realize that I could do it and that I had what it took. And so I think it was a shift mentally that prepared me to just put myself through writing more, through singing more, through practicing and wanting to go for it with everything that I had.
Practice is very important, guys. Rehearsal is very important.
Yes, for
I
sure.
stress it.
I like your style. I just have to, when I saw you at the Kickback, you had like the long trench.
Yeah.
I like the glasses. I really love your style.
Thank
and I was
you.
looking around your Instagram. It was like singer, songwriter, Oatmeal lover.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do kind of stand out with your style, and even just on your page, you stand out a lot. So what motivates you to remain true to who you are as a person, you know, when there's so many different R&B artists and you can be easily influenced with how you dress, how you sound? How do you stay true to yourself?
I feel like since I want to go back to middle school and like being in a period where I didn't really like how I looked and like aesthetically as far as my style, and even just thinking I wasn't as good as a singer or as a writer or songwriter. And so being at that period and still having those moments, I think I'm just reminded more so to be who I want to and to dress how I want to dress and to be a part of just different things and have fun. And even like the way that I tweet sometimes, like I know I'm just saying stuff, but it's funny to me. And so I like just to just have that free expression, and I'm inspired by other people that I see and that I pull influence from.
Yeah, back to what Kayla was saying, like her and I were discussing, she was like, she sounds like somebody, and I was like, I sat there and I was listening to your music, you sing, and when I was like, her, that's exactly your voice and the sound of music that you were creating. Even though it's a song that I heard, it reminded me a lot of her. And so with songwriting, I know songwriting can be a headache because sometimes you have writer's block, and you've been writing for a very, very long time. So when you come into with writer's block, how do you handle it?
Okay, well, I want to say initially I have to face the frustration because it is frustrating to know that you have something inside and you can't tap into it. And so after I get over that hump, I have to step away from it, step away from writing, step away from trying to make whatever song I think I need. And I just go back to what I initially started off, which was just writing and journaling, like for fun, not for a song, not for a poem, but just to express how I was feeling in the moment. So I try to do that and do things I enjoy, watch a show, look at the sunset, you know, just simple things that I enjoy and pull away from trying to make music all the time.
What do you think is different between you getting on stage and you doing music? I mean, you started in 2019, so, you know, of course, a couple of years, we went through quarantine time, so, you know, I don't know how many times you've actually been on stage, but, you know, what's the difference for you, and what are the different takeaways that you get from performing versus writing your songs and creating?
I feel like when I'm creating or in that space, it's a lot of alone time, and I cherish that time. And when I get a chance to be on stage and to perform at open mics or to do different shows like I did last semester and now the kickback last Friday, it's a moment, it's an opportunity to create an experience with people and to connect with them on something that I feel and something that I hope they could relate to. So it's about making it an experience. So that's what I like.
That's dope, that's dope. So you're part of Outspoken, and Outspoken has produced a lot of creative people. Dev Mac, who has been, you know, on this show. We played Dev Mac Records as a part of it. There's a lot of creative people in that group. For people that are listening now that are not familiar with Outspoken, you know, talk a little bit about what Outspoken is, and talk about just the kindred spirits that get together and all the dope people that assembly kind of puts out into the world here locally.
Okay, well, Outspoken, it's an arts collective at Jackson State, namely having like singers, songwriters, poets, spoken word artists, and to an extent graphic designers, just really different creatives that are on campus. And they're very in touch with the alumni that have been at Outspoken, so they keep that relationship. It's very familial. But what we do a lot of times is have different events within the community, doing community service, and also just being a space on campus to be an outlet, to have a show where, you know, students can come up that are not in Outspoken and you can do a piece or you can sing something. We might have a session where we're trying to guess what the sample is, just doing different venues and activities on campus to engage everybody and to give people a way to use their talents.
Now, Cortez Bryant, I'm sure you're probably familiar with him on campus. Do you see yourself maybe mentoring young aspiring artists that may want to write or perform? I know you said you kind of do outreach on campus. Is that something that you think may come in the future?
In the future, yes, I do. That's a goal of mine, to be in a position where I can have present opportunities and resources to others, especially within Mississippi, because I feel like it is a gold mine, and like opportunities like this, it's showing that the talent is there. It really is just about shining light on it. So I want to be one of the people who does that and just continues that cycle.
So, is there any new projects you got coming up? Got anything new? Tell us about what's coming up. Are you looking at doing full projects? You doing songs? What are you doing?
In the near future, singles and an EP, and furthermore establishing just my presence and trying to build this support group of people who want to see what I do next and what the journey is. And definitely an album in the near future. So as far as within the next 2 years, I would like to have an album. But for now, singles, EP, and engaging with people.
Cool.
So, I know that, you know, with you being a singer and whatnot, and being a writer and everything, and, you know, it's a new year, you know, what are some things that you learned about your, what is y'all laughing at? Okay. Right.
My ice was, you know, making a little bit of
Like in
noise. I'm
church.
sorry. Forgive me, guys. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I know it's pretty loud.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so as we're in a new year, you know, over the course of 2 years, like I said, you know, you deal with the pandemic, you deal with a lot of alone time. And since Robert isn't here, I know he's big on mental health and everything. So I want to ask, you know, during that time when you were alone, how were you mentally? What are some things that you learned about yourself being alone and, you know, trying to find your creativity still and continue to be able to produce music and so on and so forth?
Well, I'll just be honest. I know like the first period, like March to April of 2020, when it was first starting off, it was, you know, very rough. And then as it continued, it just went through a cycle of everything feeling mundane, and every day was blending in together. And then you go with 2021, it still feels like the same year. And one of the things that helped, well, in a weird way, what helped is I tried to challenge myself to create something every day for 28 days. So my birthday is April 28th, so I just did 28 because I know 21 days is like building a habit. So I said, let me go a bit further. And during that time, I really surprised myself as far as what I could write, like melodies I could create, and I went to a different part of myself, and that, in a sense, it saved me in that period. So I think that was one of the things that helped during quarantine in 2020, 2021, and just allowing myself to feel those things instead of pushing them away, because I didn't have time to ignore them anymore. So I had to face them head on.
So let me ask you this. This is probably one of the most serious questions we're going to ask in this interview. You like oatmeal?
I was over here like, what was
Yes,
that?
I do. I'm an avid oatmeal eater. Yes, I do. I love oatmeal.
So, like the first 6, 7 years of my life, I had oatmeal every day.
Wow.
My parents were, I really don't know. I've never really asked them why
Wow.
we ate oatmeal every day. And it wasn't like, I've since, when I've been on diets and things, I've since learned how to go to get the flavored oatmeal. It's got some of the nice tasting stuff in it.
Yes, strawberry.
When I was coming up, we was getting the straight Quaker Oats oatmeal, and that was it, like the flat
A
oatmeal.
little cinnamon,
No
maybe?
brown sugar?
No sugar. I don't know if they knew to do that to the oatmeal, or they were just purposely not doing it to the oatmeal. But I ate oatmeal every day. So
Wow.
when I got to the point where, we discovered that there were other breakfast foods at the time, I think from the period of like me being 8 on up till now, I haven't had, I didn't have oatmeal for a long while. Started eating a little oatmeal when I saw the flavors and things, and I was like, okay, maybe this will help me. This is a low calorie thing, I'm gonna do it. But I just couldn't get into it, as a thing where, I'm like, hey, when I get up in the morning, I can't wait to get a bowl of oatmeal. Like, I've never been there. So, I mean, I'm curious, like, you're just sitting up sometimes, you're writing and you're saying to yourself, I could really use a bowl of oatmeal right now.
No, yeah, that's my life. So I do, I think about what oatmeal I'm gonna have in the morning.
You like got different flavors
I
and
do.
styles.
So I used to be just regular, like the regular artificial blueberry pack. That was my favorite. But I started to evolve, we grow, we mature. So now I'm into overnight oats, adding maybe some, overnight, so let's talk about it.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about
Yeah, let's
overnight
talk
oats.
about overnight oats.
Essentially, you get like rolled oats or whatever oats you want, put them in a mason jar. You fill it with water or almond milk, regular milk, whole milk. I do almond. And you let it sit overnight in the refrigerator. Then in the morning, you can put your toppings on it, put it in the microwave. It's ready to go. But the flavors, they really seep into it.
You were
So,
really serious.
I'm
about
very
it.
serious.
I'm
fascinated.
like,
The
yes.
flavors seep into it. So
Okay.
the classic, we put some cinnamon in it, brown sugar. You want to go a little further, you could do walnuts, some pecans, or you could do cranberries. You could surprise yourself. And you could even put real fruit inside of it. I wouldn't do it overnight because I tried it, it was soggy. But in the morning, that's when you do it.
Okay.
The passion, ladies and gentlemen.
passion.
Like, I'm
I'm
sitting
sticking
here
with the
now,
packed
I'm like
oatmeal
next
for
to
now.
her,
Yeah.
like in the physical sense, the passion that I feel coming off of her now about
It's
oatmeal
Yes.
is really real. And like, it's kind of seeped in, and I'm like, oatmeal.
That's
Maybe,
You should make us a TikTok for the overnight oats.
oatmeal. Oh, okay.
I think
you know what? Yeah, you should do that. You might get a few other, I mean, I'm not going to defect back over. I had enough to where, really seriously, I don't want any more ever again in my life. But the passion that you speak of oatmeal, I'm sure there's some people that are listening right now to MPB that are oatmeal lovers. You have a kindred spirit here. She likes oatmeal. If you guys like oatmeal, maybe some things you can talk about, and you can reach out to her on her social media if you tell everybody where they can reach you and hear some
Look
music.
at this segue.
And,
Okay. Don't play
Say-
with him.
Boom! Boom! Segue
Look at
king!
That was good.
You heard
I
it?
give him that one.
Yeah.
You heard it.
That was
You heard it. Boom! I slipped right up in there. So yeah. So tell them how they can get in touch with you.
You can reach me at Maleah Dawn on every social media platform. That's MaleahDawn. It might say Maleah of the Dawn. That is me as well.
Okay, there you go. Maleah Dawn right here live
Woo!
in the living color right here in Third Coast Radio. Just